Okay, so I think this is the third or maybe fourth Niv-Mizzet pattern deck we've tried in Pioneer. Um, Previously, we tried blue-red and Grixis configuration, so for this one today, I decided to go in a little bit different direction. So I've got a small green splash in here for Growth Spiral, Sylvan Caryatid, and Beanstalk Giant as a means of accelerating into our top end a little bit sooner. And then we've got Up, Wild Slash, Bonecrusher, Stubborn Denial as other cheap spells to enable the alt text on Niv. And then we've got some Rekindling Phoenix as just an additional evasive threat to pair with Glorybringer and Niv at the top end to close games out. So we got a bunch of cards that enable Stubborn Denial as well. So that's my disruption of choice outside of creature removal in the mains. Let's go ahead and dive on into a league with this one and see how it goes. Hey, Slinker, thank you for the entire year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Someone had asked before I clicked the switched over my scene if they had asked if today was open for everyone. Yes, you will be. Everyone will be able to play with cards in the new set starting this morning. I believe it's supposed to go live in about an hour or so. Is the scheduled thing. 9 a.m. I believe. 9 a.m. Central, I believe, was their scheduled go live time. Yep, we're all gonna open a bunch of packs. Opening packs actually doesn't take that long in Arena, which is nice because you can open them 10 at a time. Okie doke. Moto doesn't have Theros yet, though. So, Moto events start this morning as well. Later this morning. So, no, there will be no Theros cards played in this league. But this should be the last Pioneer League where we don't have new cards in it. So, tomorrow and Saturday is going to be all... Tomorrow and Saturday is going to be all, what's the word I'm searching for? Tomorrow and Saturday will be all standard / arena stuff. I think we're going to fit in at least one historic deck because Bob had a big donation for some historic. But tomorrow and Monday, or tomorrow and Saturday will be all arena, and then we'll be back to Pioneer with some new cards on Sunday. Hey Zero, thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. Well, I mean, we're going to get to accelerate into a Beanstalk Giant, I guess. Gas my 7/7. I think I might have mixed up the time zones, actually. That's awkward. Yeah, I'm dumb. Alright, we might be doing a second. I think we're going to do a second Pioneer deck today, then. Is what it looks like. Oh, I should have played my land, right? Because this would deal an extra damage. Yeah, sorry. I was trying to double check the announcement. Apparently, downtime doesn't start till 9 a.m. So, yeah. I just glanced at the time zones and I assumed that they were going to be reasonable times, and it's WotC, so we can't pay people to work at reasonable times. Well, we have plenty of lands. Maybe we should have a couple of Hydroid Crisis in this deck. It's very possible, maybe at least in the sideboard. Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. Do 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 do, do 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 do, do 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 do. Today I learned getting 7 hours of sleep makes you feel significantly better than 5.5. Yeah, I shoot for 6 to 8. You should be excited, Hive Mind. Mox Opal finally biting it is great. As someone who's been advocating for Mox Opal to bite it for going on 2 years now, it's a good change. It's a good change. Alright, let's start with this and see where we go. I'm going to go ahead and stomp on this. And then I'm going to Beanstalk Giant, grab the last basic out of our deck, and then cast Bonecrusher. Hey, Disposable Hero. Thank you for the quarter of your support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Michael Marucci, thank you for the quarter as well. Zilth, welcome back for the second month. Morning, folks. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to re-up that, Michael. Twitch Prime keeps me employed here. We do, in fact, have yet to damage our opponent. You're not wrong. Has Arena ever had downtime for updates like Moto? Not 9 hours of downtime, but they do have, like, we're having downtime today. They said the scheduled downtime is supposed to be 90 minutes. Last time, they actually had less downtime than they advertised, so there's that. Okay, Bonecrusher plus this Wild Slash means Teferi can die this turn, potentially. Gosh, we're really good at not drawing spells, huh? Hey, Hobart, thanks. Hope your pre-release stuff goes well this weekend. Hug the Quilfer, thank you for the 26 months. Good morning. Alright, just casual 15 power for next turn. This is bar they like. Play Elspeth and downtick. Just predict, sure. I mean, they're kind of two spells. Like, at a certain point, getting more lands with the Beanstalk Giant doesn't really count. What's next for Pioneer if this is happening? I don't know. What is at the top? Oh, I actually didn't build Esper Tempo. I don't have Esper Tempo built because I didn't think we were playing it today. Woof. Yeah, I've only got 4 basics in the deck. Because there's only 3 Beanstalk Giants. It's Wasteland, not Strip Mine. This can't tag basics. Okay, it's not a terrible draw. Hopefully we, I mean, we don't actually have that many dorks in our deck, which is nice. Like, our deck only has 2 Sylvan Caryatids, then we have, like, Beanstalk Giants and Growth Spirals for the rest of the acceleration. I mean, having downtime to implement a new set isn't really unforgivable. The fact that their downtime doesn't start until 10 a.m. Eastern on release day is a bit annoying. Like, ideally their downtime should happen overnight, because 10 a.m. Eastern is not only morning playtime for the East Coast and the Midwest, but it's also afternoon and evening playtime for the EU. So really couldn't pick a worse spot. I guess late afternoon evening would be worse, I suppose. Maybe you could pick a worse spot, but this one's definitely not ideal. The part of the game where, like, we're probably dead. Yeah, am I gonna concede to a settle? Yeah, Narset here too means we're probably pretty dead. Now, to give Wizards credit where credit is due, they did make their schedule less crappy than it was in previous set releases, where the what's the word that I'm searching for? The set releases the day after the preview event instead of 2 days after the preview event. So, like, for the last set and the set before, the preview event was on Tuesday, and then there was a 24-hour gap where no one had access to the new cards, and then the release was on Thursday. So to praise Wizards for doing a good, they did do the preview event Wednesday and the release Thursday. So that is a positive change. They didn't suck the hype out of their set release in the middle of it this time, which is good. Wafu Tafu, thank you for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. Unknown Stuber, almost to that horse. Thank you for the 23 months. I would argue, Gengar, that an ideal timeline is downtime during the pre-release event, at the tail end of it. So, like, the pre-release event ends, and then viewers can immediately start playing with cards once the pre-release event is done. Morning, Hoglandia. Morning, Oopspat. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. No, that's what I'm saying, Gengar. They should have downtime during the pre-release event for everyone else. Which maybe that might be happening. I guess I don't know what time the pre-release event goes to. If I click on it, that might actually be what's happening. When does the preview event go till? It goes till 6. Nope, that's actually definitely not what they did. The preview event ended 5 minutes ago. So the preview event ended 5 minutes ago, so yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna play Bonecrusher Giant here. The reason why I'm playing this pre-combat is because he enables Ferocious on Stubborn Denial. So this way, if they have like an Azorius Charm, I can stub their Azorius Charm. Now, the downside to this is when my opponent has Supreme Verdict next turn, I'm going to be very sad. But, you know, don't play around cards you can't beat. Toxic Chips, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. What took my most excited for in Standard? Probably the Aristocrats list. Deck out of the list today. Follow-up Rabble's real good here. I mean, I fully expect Nissa to just be one of the best cards in the format. What if we play Mountain to stomp EOT at the end of turn 2? Yeah, maybe. That could be fine. Gets us 2 extra damage. That's unfortunate. This Lumbering Falls might go the distance. It's going fall speed. It's all alone in this time of need. Right. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Giant dragons blowing through ya. Do 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 beep 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 do do do. So I can fire this up and still stub the Settler Wreckage. So let's go. Oh, you know what? I should play this land out because if they have Azorius Charm plus Censor, I can't pay for Censor. Nice sweeper. The Buddhist Nax, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Someone posted a deck in the Pioneer subreddit that was playing double color spells in 3 colors without the mana to support it. My first thought was, this is a Saffron Olive deck, and it turns out I was right. Math checks out on that, generally speaking. They're having a pack cracking extravaganza. I don't know what, like... Yes, I guess is the answer, but I don't understand why it's exciting to open booster packs. Especially when, like in paper, I guess I kind of get it, but, like, here on this stream, I'm, like, opening a deterministic number of booster packs. In fact, speaking of, where are the pinned messages? I'm going to import. We're actually only going to be opening mythics today, because before we start opening packs, I'm crafting all of the commons, uncommons, and rares. So that way, I can spend my wild cards and get something useful out of them. Hey, Mr. Lifeguard, thank you for the 23 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I think overall, Theros is a pretty low power level set. Maybe I'll live to eat those words. Like, there's definitely cards that are gonna, like, change how Standard's going. But I definitely feel like from a pure power level perspective, it's a bit of a step back from like what we saw with Eldraine, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. All right, it's really hoping to draw an untapped land here so we can Beanstalk Giant into Opt. Yeah, and that and most of the There's a reason why YouTube channels that do unboxing videos make millions of dollars per year. I mean, is that true? The Magic unboxing videos definitely aren't making millions of dollars per year. That's definitely not accurate. And also, like I said, like what you're doing in paper and like what people are pulling is different than what I'm doing on Arena, right? Because like I'm just getting a deterministic number of packs. Maybe I was supposed to get a third red there actually, because I already had triple blue. Huh? I think I'm just digging for lands here. I mean, the good news is 6 mana Niv's probably real good in this matchup, huh? It is currently 8 a.m. CT. This is the part where we just like keep throwing noodles at the wall and hope that something eventually sticks. Like they only have 4 cards in their hand here, so like we have more threats than they could possibly have answers at this point. Like they could have a dig through time or a piece of card advantage in there potentially, but you know, we also have like this hanging out here too. Well, Stu Nami, thank you for the 13 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. If they have a dig here, we've given them breathing room to get set up, which feels a little bit bad. But definitely needed to just try and develop my mana here. Oh, they're just activating Castle. Well, that's incredibly good for us. If that's their best play there, things are looking good for our hero. Lumbering Falls is a great rip, too. We can't Niv and dig with an untapped land. We only have 6 here. They have not seen Niv yet. So this is game 3. This is the first time we've cast him. I have the sinking feeling this card might not be playable. Is there train infrastructure between Bloomington and Chicago? There is, Nivik. There is. Untapped land here is great, because it means I can Niv plus dig this turn. Could also Niv plus stop, potentially. They killed our Niv, and we didn't draw a card. That's illegal. It should be, right? Oh, the old opt-in response to my Niv. Don't mind if you do. Opt after the Niv resolves. Thanks. I appreciate you. Someone didn't play standard against this card. Listen, we take those here, chat. It's the little victories, okay? think I'm gonna go ahead and dig in response here while or dig at the end step while they can't do anything about it. Yeah, we're feeling the burn here in Hoaglandia. In it to win it. Rabblemaster and Stubby D sounds good, even if they answer Niv here. They've got some good threats left over. Their health total's still high, but like they only have 4 cards in their hand. And like, remember we've got these Beanstalk Giants hanging out over here too that are gonna be threats at some point. So we kind of have like 6, 7 threats if you count this, 8 with this. They've got a lot they've got to answer. Good luck, Godspeed, blue-white control player. You should be able to opt out of those text, Bretta. If you just text back stop for Calyx build around. Sounds good, CJNJ. I appreciate it. Again, every campaign does that, and I agree it's real obnoxious. I don't know if like most people donate to things like that in piecemeal. But like when I made a decision to donate to something, I'm like, all right, this is my amount of money I have to donate. I don't like have a trickling fountain of money to donate. So Phoenix plus Rabblemaster here is great, and I get Stubborn Denial up as well. I will say this. One thing this election cycle taught me is that I will never donate to someone far out from the election again unless I'm super familiar with them, because like their faces come off, so to speak, as we got closer to election. Like Buttigieg revealing he's not really a progressive, like makes those types of decisions feel real bad. Sure, you have a Nyx Fleece Ram. There are some people who set aside an amount each month to donate. It's interesting. I guess that's kind of like a Twitch sub, huh? Want to let you know I appreciate how you run this channel and communicate with chat what you play. I watched a bunch of streams yesterday when you were off, and it was a downgrade over watching you. Well, thanks for the support, Ziggs. I appreciate the compliment. I don't think I'm supposed to bang her here. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and fire up old Lumbery here, I think. Like, I can stub a Settle the Wreckage, and like, I don't really want to play more into a Supreme Verdict, I don't think. Like, Rabblemaster on his own demands a verdict. I do know that, like, I tried to watch a bunch of different streams yesterday, and the one thing that, like, I don't do on stream that a lot of other people do that I ended up just turning it off because I'd forgotten how annoying I found it is, I really hate watching people deck build on stream. Like, Twitch chats shouting random bad suggestions at people, and then there's, like, sitting there shooting them all down. It's just real frustrating to watch. And it's a lot of downtime from actual action, too. What did Pete Buttigieg do? During the beginnings of Pete Buttigieg's campaign, he put on the appearance of being a progressive candidate with the things that he said. And as it became clear to him that he couldn't beat Warren or Bernie in the progressive lane, he started to pivot his policies and the things he was trying to get done to a more centrist route, because he's more likely to be able to beat Biden in that lane. After watching several streams yesterday, I've never appreciated the sub-only chat so much. We're just dedicated to roasting the streamer. Gross. Alright, so this is an easy stub, right? Because we're going to kill them next turn. Are they dead? I think the Lumbering Falls killed them here. They might even be dead without them. This thing's attacking for 8, 12, 15. I do need both. That's fine though. I only got one up here. Yeah, we're one short of not using both Lumbering Falls, but we have both, so it doesn't matter here. Listen, I don't know if this deck is good, but getting to stuff blue-white control in a box is a fetish of mine, so I think we can call it a success regardless of what happens to the rest of the league. What do you think about JAC without the little Tefs? I think without the little Tefs, your blue-white control, your control matchups are real bad. I think the deck's still playable, obviously, because they're a sideboard card. So, like, if you need to cut them for budget reasons, like, the deck's not unplayable, but I do think it's worse. Yeah, honestly, that's the biggest thing to me in my mind, is my problem with Pete isn't that he's a centrist. Like, it's not even that I would call him a centrist. He's an opportunist. That's my problem with him. Like, I don't have a problem, like, I don't, like, hate Biden like I hate people like Trump and the GOP that enable Trump, right? Because, like, while I don't agree with his policies, I don't think their policies are ideal, at least as a human being, he hasn't done the things that Trump has done as a human being, if that makes sense. Like, as a person, he's not a total ball of scum. I think I'm bottoming this, just looking for more red lands, right? God, Bonecrusher Giant is so awkward in this Spirits matchup. I think I just have to throw this away again. I just need to keep the board clear, I think. Yeah, the sack Spirits make Bonecrusher real bad. Although I guess the 4/3 ground creature isn't that much upside anyways, so it's kind of whatever. The good news is, if I can get to this Niv-Mizzet, I'm gonna get to do some real good here. Perfect. So then we just need to draw an untapped land for next turn. He's still a 1-for-1. Hey, Biscuit Man, thank you for the quarter of your support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, so I like have to hit the mana for Niv this turn, right? I guess Glorybringer could also be okay. Need a banger or a land. Okay. That'll do pig. So we'll have Glorybringer, bang the eagle here. And then we're still taking at least 3 here. Yep. Woof. Are we dead? I think we're dead. Other streamers I enjoy, but I spend some of my limited sub budget here because you don't leave politics at the door and you expend effort to keep your chat from getting toxic. Thank you for the third of a year, Penguin, and thank you for the feedback. So we're just dead, right? I have 1 blocker here. So I always love sharing my programming headaches with you. Having spent the last few years neck deep in Python, I'm trying to learn max script, and indices are not based on 0. If we hit a second Glorybringer, is it a gangbang? Asking the real questions. Hour of Devastation is actually pretty stellar here because costing 5 mana means it dodges Spell Queller and it strips Indestructible, so it doesn't care about what's it called? Selfless Spirit. We do have to kill Mausoleum Wanderer to get it to go through, but this beats 2 of the ways they generally beat sweepers. What am I trimming here? Is it just Beanstalk Giant? 3 mana for Acceleration's a little slow here. Let's try this. Well, I mean, if you pay close attention, you'll often hear me talk about how I miss things because I'm talking to chat, but yeah. Seems pretty good. Get to go tap Lumbering Falls on 1, untap Steam Vent, Growth Spiral on 2, put in a land, Wild Slash something. So we'll get to both develop our mana and interact with their board. We'll have to pay a little bit of life to do it, but it's not too big of a deal. And if they don't give us something to... Oh, that was a mistake. So the opt here actually makes the land I just played there wrong, because if I would have held this in my hand, I could have opted afterwards. Okay, doesn't matter, because they're playing this. So I get to do what we said here, shock this in. Selfless Spirit resolves, we'll Wild Slash it. I'm going to go ahead and opt to start in case we get like a Sylvan Caryatid. I think I'm going to bottom this. I have another removal spell in my hand. I just want to try and hit my land drops to try and curve into this Niv on time, I think. More than 12. Thank you for the 13 months, Sulfur Crab. Welcome back. Happy Thursday, folks. Happy release day. Well, I was about to say we're going to double Bonecrusher that, but Banger showed up, so let's head to the party. You know, this game should mostly be done like we're at 16 and have a Glorybringer in play, especially with the Bonecrushers in hand ready to go again. She bangs, just a little bit. She moves. Okay, they put in Port Town. Do I expect them to have a Rattle Chains here? Doesn't look like it. Sure. I think I just take one here. I unfortunately need to draw a red source for the Niv-Mizzet. They shocked in that land, though, so I kind of feel like they have a Rattle Chain, so I don't really want to try and double Bonecrusher this if they're on Rattle Chains, potentially. And if I hit the red, saving the Bonecrushers for post-Niv-Mizzet is definitely decent for us. Hopefully they don't have another Detention Sphere here. That would be bad for us. You bumped a deck a few minutes ago, was curious if what you did works that way. Yep, that's exactly how it works. I don't always verbally acknowledge the shillings bumps just because they aren't actual dollars, and a lot of times there's stuff going on. Does Stomp trigger Niv? It does. It does. Deck bumps, that's true too. If you're asking when they get applied, though, they don't get applied till the end of the stream. Oh gosh, Growth Spiral triggers this twice. Forgot about that. All right, well this is not about to be close. Turns out untapping with Niv-Mizzet still appears to win the game. All right, so this is going to come into play. It's really cute that they think they're still in this game. So I assume this will be a concession then, because we'll stomp this, we'll trigger Niv, we'll kill the Rattle Chains. Yeah, and if Niv frequently reads to spend 1, win the game, as exemplified there. Oh, I wish I would have not messed up the time zone, so I probably would have started later today than normal, but we're live now, so we're not signing off. Where did the last 2 years of my life go? So I feel with my kids sometimes, just like, blinked and like, Jake is gonna be 6 next month, it's just like, when did he get to be 6? Yeah, this is fine. Sets up to play Bangarang ahead of curve. Morning, White Sticks. Okay, no white mana from them yet. They could also just be setting up to attack with the Mutavault, though. Okay, second Hours is nice, I guess. Would really like to draw a Rekindling Phoenix next turn. If we don't draw something to impact the board, we're probably just dead. Yep. Yeah, I just have. Hand was just too slow. I don't know. You can maybe argue that hand's supposed to be a mulligan. That's close. Yeah, we didn't have a play till 4. I don't know. Expecting to draw. We had a wide range of things that like drew that did stuff before then, though. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the hand definitely wasn't competitive there, but I don't know that it was a mulligan either. I think this one's a mulligan. No blue source. Yeah, this is fine. Hey, Serp. Thanks for the 17 months. The Tower Knight. Cashing back in for the 13th. Welcome back, folks. Good morning. The 4 damage sweeper from Theros. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like the difference between 4 and 5 is marginal. If I wanted a cheap sweeper, I'd probably rather play like Anger of the Gods or Sweltering Suns. Yeah, I didn't really have room to fit in Brazen Borrower. I wanted to focus my creatures on being able to enable Stubborn Denial. I needed, you had to, like, cut. When we've played blue-red versions in the past, we had Brazen Borrower in them. And there's, like, something had to get cut from that kind of shell to be able to fit in the Beanstalk Giant. Hey, Juju, thank you for the 44 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. 3 is not usually enough against Bears. It is for a window. I did see Allie making unnecessarily large creases. Oh, that's... Gosh! These green decks are really slow and fair when they don't play an elf on one, huh? Getting to bang Yorvo here. Normally Yorvo's not bangable. Feels good, man. Feels good. This Beanstalk Giant, this Rekindling Phoenix shell should be pretty good here. Gum the board up nicely. Allow the Glorybringer time to repeated. He did deck himself, is the answer. The answer to your question is, he did deck himself. Phoenix is super sweet here. Just like, comes back every turn. Great Henge could allow them to seize the means here and get going. Keep their life total high and race through what we're doing. It's a pretty scary one. So, I think we just clean their board out here a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and Glorybringer the Steel Leaf Champion and then attack with the Rekindling Phoenix as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and Giant the Elf and play my 4-3 out. Then the following turn, we can play Beanstalk Giant, which is great. And then maybe we could slowly race them in the air even through this Great Henge. So they have 3 cards left. They're gaining 2 per turn, but we're currently pretty far ahead on board. I just got the politest RTFM ever. If you're not familiar with the workflow, you should review the documentation. Have you tried looking it up? Yeah, Gulta would be a play bigger than R, bigger than our stuff. And now, with the removal spell here, we actually could be in a little bit of trouble. Because, like, this Phoenix is only dealing 4 per turn, and this Great Henge is gaining them 2 per turn. Yeah, Voracious Hydra is really good. Gold Dead Ringer, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. It's only fitting with green's constant breaking of the color pie that green also has the best Necrotals ever printed too now, right? Like, Wicked Wolf and Voracious Hydra, easily some of the best comes into play destroy target creature effects we've seen. Yeah, I think we're actually going to be dead at this point. They had such a slow start, too. And, like, I feel like this is a good example of why the elves should be banned. Like, our opponent's deck had a slow start, and it's still plenty powerful, even with the slower start. Yeah, we just can't win at this point. Great Henge is real good. So, Abrade, Roast, Aether Gust. I don't think this is an Hour of Devastation matchup. It's kind of slow. Great Henge is a cheat code, yeah, basically. That many Nivs is probably slow. Caryatid doesn't really block. Hey, Ender, thank you for the 5 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. There, Arena and MTGO both get Theros this afternoon. This will be my last day streaming Pioneer until Sunday, though. Tomorrow and Saturday are going to be all Arena. And then we'll get back into our normal, mostly... Yep. Yeah, we'll see. Unless we'll see how Standard goes. Unless interest in Standard kicks up a ton after this weekend streams, we're probably gonna keep doing 2 Pioneer decks most day, just because there seems like there's basically an endless supply of Pioneer submissions, whereas Standard so far have still been relatively few and far between. I think we have enough to fill out the weekend, but most of the decks today we have are things viewers sent in. I think Aristocrats is the only thing in the queue right now that I put in there. Yeah, Aristocrats, we have yeah, we've got 12 decks in there, and only one of them was mine. Or 11 decks, only one was my submission, so... It's not bad. It's better than the 2 we had last week. Or earlier this week. Okay, so we get to kill that at least with this Abrade. They drew 1 card off of it. They have an elf here too. They have an elf. They get to draw a 2nd card off it, which would be kind of annoying. Your LGS is 3x Pioneer a week firing. Yeah, I'd believe it. Like I said, I would be incredibly surprised. Like, it wasn't a mistake that, like... It wasn't by accident that the Pioneer events, the last Modern Open, had more people than the Modern side events did. Like, this format, I think, will almost certainly be the most popular competitive Magic format by the end of 2020. I think even if they get Modern to a good place, just like the lower price point and lower power level on this format is more appealing to people. Well, they have a second Great Henge here, and I only have one more Abrade in my deck. So I think there's a good chance we're just dead here. Is chat still in sub-only mode? Always. Hey, Hobart, thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Find a Wild Slash here. I'd like to kill their Land War Elves, I think. As always, answers to Will Jeff Playak should be answered by submitting them through the form on my website. Unless you're going to attach a $100 bill to your submission, then don't double check, just send the money. Sorry, asterisk $100 in bits. Specifically bits. Alright, so this costs 9. So I think I'm actually supposed to trade here so they can't Great Henge this turn. Because they attacked like this so they could Great Henge off of 5 mana, I assume. I don't know, maybe that's wrong. Why in bits? Because I try not to take large donations from new people because the risk of chargebacks with large donations from unknown people is high. So, if you're someone that's been here a while and has sent me money before, you're fine. You're fine to do larger donations via PayPal. But prefer bits if you're someone who's new to the channel, just for peace of mind. Because the way PayPal works, people can issue chargebacks on a service up to like a year out from when the service was actually commissioned. And as a vendor or the service provider, you're basically just screwed. You can't fight it, you just lose the money. And we're dead. Yeah, smaller PayPal donations are fine, but like for cut the line or next day service. Yeah, and if you want to try and fight chargebacks with Amazon, yep, exactly. That's not my problem. I get paid regardless on bits. Alright, we beat blue-white control, and then promptly got rolled by back-to-back aggressive decks there. Any hot takes on the Sanders, Warren ordeal? Yeah, they both kind of look like idiots with the whole thing. The timing of when Warren's campaign, whoever leaked that information, like, it feels weird to me that, like, the information that was shared with what Bernie allegedly said happened after Warren starts slipping in the polls before the first primary vote. Like, I feel if that's something that they felt wasn't okay that needed to be shared, it probably should have been shared, I don't know, like, way a long time ago. I think all the people who are like the hashtag never Warren stuff, those people are idiots and need to stop. I think if there was some kind of, if Bernie Sanders said point blank, a woman can't be elected president, like, that's awful. But based on like things he has said in the past, I'd be very surprised if Bernie said that. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of misunderstanding or she interpreted something he said differently. Like, perhaps he said a woman would have a hard time beating Trump, which is going, like, Trump is very sexist, right? Like, he's going to use that to his advantage. That's just the, like, Bernie is blunt, and, like, the reality of the situation is we live in an incredibly sexist society. So while a woman can definitely be president and win, like, Hillary won the popular vote, right? But pretending that it's not going to be harder is also ignorant to reality. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was pointing out that reality in a discussion with her, but the timing of it makes me question it. Yeah, I'd prefer not to solicit stuff like that, Korluski. Alright, so looks like green-red, maybe aggro. They had Wild Slash and a Bonecrusher Giant before they randomly conceded there. So I'm kind of expecting, like Ember Cleaves and Goblin Rabblemasters out of them. Roast, Aether Gust, Abrade all sound pretty reasonable here. I think I'm going to trim some of this top end to be a little bit less clunky. CNN's questioning during the debates was absolutely dog crap, and they should be embarrassed. I hadn't realized that we were gonna frame all of these questions from the Republican talking points perspective. One of the tweets I retweeted after the debate really hit home for me, and the person said, none of the candidates who said they wanted to leave troops in the Middle East were asked how they were going to pay for keeping those troops there. And that really just highlights what we have as a society. Like, the fact that, like, when we want to do things like Medicare for all or other social programs, there's this big pressure around, well, how do you pay for that? But whenever you want to take military action, you want to send people out to murder people, nobody bats an eye about how that gets paid for. It's just accepted that that's something that we're supposed to have money to do. If we have money to fight wars, we have money to take care of people in the United States. We do. In all honesty, I don't understand how anybody who is independently employed or runs a small business could ever not support someone that backs Medicare for all. Like, Medicare for all is one of the few things that could give small businesses a huge leg up in this economy that's rapidly moving away from them. Like, if a business doesn't have to provide medical benefits to their employees, they are much more easily able to be competitive with large companies like Google and Amazon and Walmart, because that takes a huge burden off of them to what they have to provide to their employees. Even if you're not an independent contractor or a small business owner, you should want Medicare for all, because it gives you more freedom as someone who's just employed. It means if your employer starts to treat you poorly, you don't have to risk going bankrupt from getting sick to tell them to shove it or start treating you better. The reason why there's so much pushback on Medicare for all and there's so many lies and FUDs surrounding it is because Medicare for all gives an incredible amount of power to individuals that they haven't had maybe ever, or at least very least not in a very long time. Zigzol, thank you for the 1.5 years of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for the half a year, D-Sprag. Thanks for the 10 months, Crazer. Morning to everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy Theros release day. Tree for all, cash in that brand new Prime support. I appreciate you shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me around. Gurmgully, non-humans. Wow, this is really sick with Goblin Rabblemaster, huh? Because it powers up the tokens too. What do you guys think? What do y'all think roasted Gurmgully smells like? It's probably not particularly pleasant, huh? I feel like there's a strong chance that roasted Gurmgully doesn't smell good. As a small business owner who talks to other small business owners, it boils down to them being temporarily embarrassed millionaires. They think they'll be filthy rich someday and don't want to pay more taxes on the billions they're going to never make. Yep. Yep. All right, so I think I start with Growth Spiral, and then I can put this into play, and then I'm going to opt here, because if I hit a Wild Slash, I want to kill this Land War Elf. How do you feel about a flat tax rate for everyone, including corporations? I think it's kind of not. I think something like a flat tax rate could be a band-aid to like fixing random loopholes and stuff that have happened, but people who make more money can and should do more to help society. Especially people who make incredible amounts of money, because if you're someone who makes an incredible amount of money, you likely only make that incredible amount of money because you're making money off of other people who live and work in society. So you should fund that society that enables you to make money off of those people. I guess this is kind of a non-bow, because, like, this doesn't get bigger. All right, so we're taking 6 here down to 5. I get to go ahead and trade with this. Shocking in for this Niv is not super appealing next turn, right? I'm going to die still. What can I draw here? Definitely not a land. So if I shock this in, I go block, block, and we still die. We take 6. Maybe I do want the Hour of Devastations. They kill questing beasts to you. Do I just want Hour instead of Niv at the top end? Maybe I don't want Sylvan Caryatid if I'm bringing in the sweeper. We'll leave in 2 Nivs. Let's try this on the play. Yeah, seems fine. I'm gonna keep this bottom A Steam Vents. Hope to draw a couple lands. I'll get to Wild Slash that one. No turn 2 play here is great for us. Just need to run some lands off now. I don't have a Ballista combo list drawn up, Scholar, and we won't have new cards on Magic Online until much later. The earliest I'll be able to do a Pioneer League with new cards for Magic Online is going to be Sunday morning. Getting new cards on Moto day of is really, really difficult. While they missed a land drop, but they still put the Sanctuary back on top of their deck. That's kind of wild. Great. Working through our options here, hoping to find some lands. Okay. So, Phoenix is great because it's a threat that lives through Hour, which is nice. I'm going to go ahead and just fire up Lumbering Falls and offer a trade here. When you said, if you make more money, you should pay more, you are counting on a percent. I think there should be marginal tax brackets like we have now. I think the current system of as your income goes up, portions of your income are taxed at higher rates makes sense. Thanks for the 14 months, Teach War. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So you get to crack them for 4 here and then play Hour of Devastation. Now, if they have a removal spell like a Stomp or something to eat my egg afterwards, I'm going to be a little bit sad, but definitely can't leave Rabblemaster and Gurmgully in play unchecked here. Going hog wild. Thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Willems, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Do a modern build around. Depends on what the build around is. If the build around is something I'm probably interested in doing anyways, I do it for the same as Pioneer 50, which is the same as just a general modern submission. Gore Clan Rampager, yep. Okay, if I hit an untapped land here, they're dead, right? Because untapped land lets me roast plus fire up Lumbering Falls here. Lumbering Falls has been real good so far this league. Yeah, saying people live paycheck to paycheck at $200,000 per year is an intellectually dishonest argument. It's fundamentally true that there's definitely people out there who do that, but those people are also making lifestyle choices to make that their reality. Even in some of the most expensive places, even in some of the most expensive places to live in the United States, like San Francisco, like $200,000 per year is likely at least lower middle class. Definitely want to kill the elf here. Yes, new standard is out. That's why I'm sitting here playing Magic Online. I don't know how to answer your question. Woof. We at least, if Rekindling Phoenix does at least line up well into Heart of Korean here. $200K in Cortlandia is upper middle class, definitely. Cost of living where I'm at is super low. Definitely not looking for another Stubborn Denial here. Well, that kills Scrap Heap Scrounger at least. Do I play an untapped land to hold up a soft stub here? I feel like holding up soft stub probably doesn't accomplish a whole lot. And if I want to do that, I have to shock to play Phoenix next turn, which is not ideal. So Phoenix can hopefully stem the bleeding from this. Our opponent's missing on land drop. We don't have that many spells. Hopefully the fact this Bonecrusher Giant's effectively a 2-for-1 is going to get to pull us through here. Are they playing like some kind of vehicles deck? It's a lot of cars on the other side of the board here. I think I'm just playing this, playing a tapped land and passing here. I don't want to get too aggressive because like 3 hits from this kill me, and like this has lifelink, so trying to race is not particularly productive. Stormy Waters, thank you for the 12 months. The MTG content god, I appreciate the high compliment. Hey, Vest. Thank you for the 6 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. No better day than set release day. Indeed. Thanks for keeping me around. You know, I'm supposed to hold up Wild Slash for this reason. I could get Fatal pushed here and feel real bad, but it's going to get Fatal pushed at some point, so might as well try and save myself the life, I think. Brutal. Well, that's real bad for me. That's rough. Well, I get to, good news is I get to keep the egg at least, you know, glass half full, we get to keep the egg. All right, let's move off of the income inequality topics at this point. As always, if you want to talk about politics stuff endlessly, you're always welcome to do that in the Political Dark Place in the Subs Discord channel. For now, we're going to roll it back around. Yeah, I can stomp slash the ooze here. Like, I'm trying to think, like, what's my long-term game plan here, though? I feel like we're pretty dead, huh? Like, I just can't beat these vehicles, and like the Scrap Heap Scrounger is just coming back endlessly. I don't really have strong opinions on Modern. I haven't played the format much. I didn't really play much Modern at all while Oko was legal in it. Utah lowered income taxes and raised sale taxes across the board. Sales taxes hit everyone equally that participate in capitalism. So that's not inherently true. So the problem with raising sale taxes and VAT taxes is that if you make 1,000 times more than somebody else, you don't spend 1,000 times more money. Like, so things like sales tax and VAT taxes, they disproportionately impact people who are less well off. Yeah, sales taxes don't work on people hoarding money. And like the fundamental problem with like the way our current structure is in our society is with people hoarding piles of money. Yeah, same thing with the flat tax. Some of the ideas like a flat tax and stuff like that might have worked at one point in our society, but we're at a point now where there's just so much disparagement between these different groups of people that things that might have worked once upon a time aren't enough to tip the scales back at this point. Big Zwine, thank you for the 28 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. This is cutting too much ramp. Justin, I timed you out for your argument that was bad about people being ex-cons being a lifestyle choice, because saying you choose to be a criminal fundamentally ignores many of the problems that exist in our criminal justice system that is incredibly racist and biased against people from specific backgrounds and who grew up in certain communities. It's completely ignorant of the war on drugs, which was actually a war on poverty. It was a class war. That's saying that position, that being a criminal is always a choice and you could always choose not to, is something that I heard a lot growing up in a middle class white community. And it's one of those things that as I got out into the world and like did some research and understood more how the world actually works, I realized how nonsensical that actually was. It's one of those Republican talking points that sounds really good on paper, because if you don't really think about it and you're not informed, it makes sense. But when you actually do some research and realize how the world works, you realize that, like, oh, this is ignorant of how reality functions. Splinter Tom, thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for the support. Glad to have you here in chat now. People were talking about Warren a little bit ago. One of the things that I think a lot of the people in the Bernie camp have done that's really poor is people have brought up the fact that Warren was a registered Republican for a little while. But I actually think the fact that Warren was at one point a registered Republican, if you look into her history and her backstory, it's actually one of the incredible strengths about her as a candidate. Elizabeth Warren represents everything the GOP is afraid of. She represents someone that had views and then did research and educated themselves and realized that those views didn't actually coincide with what happens in reality. And when reality presented her with what challenged her worldviews, she changed those views based on the information that was given to her. Someone that's willing to change their position based on new information is everything that we should want. It's what the GOP is afraid of. The GOP runs on the idea that people aren't going to research and educate themselves. We punish people so much on flip-flopping, but you need to be able to analyze. You need to be able to analyze why the flops are happening. Like, for example, I've talked about Pete Buttigieg flip-flopping. That's different than why Warren flopped, right? Like, Pete pivoted in an opportunistic way to try and benefit himself when his policies, when he realized his policies weren't going to allow him to win. Phoenix is actually an incredibly good draw here because it gives us a jump blocker. An endless jump blocker. Seven, 6 is immutable. Also pretty big though. I think we're probably just dead here. Opponent's build is super sweet, like green-black aggro. They've got Scrap Heap Scroungers and Rotting Regisaur inside of the green Stompy style deck. This probably gives them a lot of resilience to the control and interactive decks that can be a little bit good against those. So they didn't attack with Mutavault here, so that implies that they have a spell they're going to cast post-combat. These scavenging oozes, they just dumpstered us. All right. As sad as this makes me to say it, I think that until some big thing gets printed or something changes in this format, I think this is the last time we're gonna register Niv-Mizzet for less than $100. I just don't think this card's very good in this format. That it's very expensive. The amount it impacts the board for 6 mana is not stellar. There's too many various cast outs and planeswalkers that kill it. Just cards like Glorybringer and Rekindling Phoenix, like the things that were good about this deck were Rekindling Phoenix and Glorybringer. This card at the top end just doesn't really solve problems that I felt like we were having otherwise. I felt like the good things about this deck was just kind of like the green-red ramp flyers build. Again, flyers tend to be very, very good in this format. I think Rekindling Phoenix and Glorybringer are both excellent. Bonecrusher Giant, just staple in every red deck. Yeah, the things that were good about this were very similar things that are good about the chunky red deck. The red mid-range, whatever you want to call it. Beanstalk Giant was actually a card that was kind of impressive at a couple points too. It's possible that this card's worth exploring more of in this format. Like, being a ramp spell to get to our 5 while also being a threat to play once we flip it out a little bit is interesting. Now, as far as